Hi, this is Reverend Dr. Nadine Rosechild-Sullivan, and I am coming to you this Sunday, March the 7th, 2021. We're coming up on a year since I personally went into lockdown, and I don't know what it's been like for you this entire long year. Next weekend, as I make this recording again, I'll probably celebrate the anniversary at that point because it was on the 11th of March 2020 that I last taught an in-person class, and it was on the 13th that I separated from my daughter and children and grandchildren for a minute in time, but for a few months, and have been, very carefully with them ever since. So it's just been a really long, long year, and it's been long in different ways for different ones of us. There is some good news in the sense this week, but it's insufficient news. So there's good news in that the House and the Senate passed the disaster relief bill, and that there will be a few dollars coming many of our ways. And some undergirding of other things and some money for the vaccination programs and things that are desperately needed. So it was excellent news. But for those of you who've been hungry or homeless or unemployed through all of this, it's too much, too little, and too late. But I wish you blessings with it nonetheless, and blessings moving forward so we continue to stand. As long as we're still here in this space, we must continue to stand. Many spiritual philosophies say that life is a school, that we're here to learn or to give and to teach or to do something, and that there's a purpose to it. All religious philosophies, all spiritualities and theologies say that there is a purpose to our lives, to our existence, to why you are here in your body at this time, born into the family you're born into, living through the circumstances you're living through, whatever they may be, wherever you may be in this globe. And in the midst of that thought this week, last week I talked about grieving that I was going through specifically at that moment in time. And I'm personally feeling a little stronger this week. But one of the things that's been coming up in my spirit all week as I've gone into prayer, gone into meditation, or sought the face of God or the face of Source in order to be able to just regather my strength and my energy and get back up again to continue forward in this space and time, is to realize this. The phrase has been coming over and over: you have a right to be here. I also believe I have a purpose to be here, and that you have a purpose to be here, and that there's things to do, and that time is actually short. Life is short. At best, we have a limited number of decades ahead of us. If you're 20, hopefully you have 5 or 6 or 7 decades. If you're 60, may you have 3. But if you're 60, the likelihood is that you don't have 3, right? So there is a definite expiration date for each one of us. And we don't know, like the day and the hour that we will transition from this place to the next, whatever that is. We do know that life has an ending point. We know the beginning is a birth date. We know that every tombstone in every cemetery around the world, well, most of them have the good grace to have a death date. I actually did see a tombstone almost 2 years ago now, on the way walking toward Frederick Douglass's grave in the appropriate cemetery in Rochester, New York. I passed a tombstone that said a man's name, and the one next to it simply said his wife. His had a first name, a last name, a birth date, and a death date. Hers just said his wife. No first name, no birth name, no married name, no birth date, no death date. Okay, most of the time, if at all possible, we recognize the end as well as the beginning. There's a span of time, and you are here for a purpose. And there are things you have been doing, and there are things you are called to do that lie ahead. And so we press toward the mark for the call of the high, for the high calling, right? We just press toward that mark for the prize of the high calling. We press on to finish our task. And so in this, one of the things that came up for me was I remembered a prose poem that I heard in my youth. And so I want to read it. It is from, actually, I think the 1920s or something, but don't hold me to the year it was written. However, I did Google that, but now it is gone. Anyway, it is called Desiderata. And I used to write it with as calligraphy in calligraphy lettering on parchment paper, and then glue it to driftwood, and then varnish, lacquer it, polyurethane it, and hang it as plaques on walls, give them away as Christmas presents. You know, one year there's 2 surviving somewhere of mine in a storage bin. But these are the words. It said, the author said, "Go placidly amid the noise and the haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even to the dull and the ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons, they are vexations to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain or bitter, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself, especially do not feign affection. Neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune, but do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive God to be, and whatever your labors and aspirations. In the noisy confusion of life, keep peace in your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful. Strive to be happy. The bottom says it was written by Max Ehrmann, Ehrmann, in 1927. I want to read one paragraph again. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. So many of us miss that. Be gentle with yourself. When you remember things you don't like that you did or whatever failed to do, remember the shoes you stood in at that time. Remember what you knew as you made those choices, what you were aware of, what you were feeling, and why. Be gentle with yourself and recognize that each of us, that you too are a child of the universe, and you too have a right to be here. And while I sometimes find it hard to see this concept that the universe is unfolding as it should, we've got nothing else. We are living in very strange times in a particular set of circumstances. And however yours or mine may be similar or different, it needs to be unfolding as it should. And someday we all get to find out, right? If the atheists are correct and when it turns off, it's just off, then we'll never know. If the atheists are wrong and overwhelmingly humankind holds some sort of spiritual theology, there's something innate in us that drives that way. So if those of us who have any kind of concept of the survival of death at all are correct, then each of us will find out, but not now. Now stay. Now do the work you came to do, whether on yourself or for others. Now live up to your calling, whatever that may be. Love whomever it is in your power to love. Receive from whomever it is that is freely and honorably giving to you without intentional manipulation. Allow yourself to be a part of this greater whole and see yourself making it through. And as we go into prayer and meditation now, today, allow yourself to envision that you make it through, and that you make it through for a purpose and a reason, and that when the day comes that you do leave this earth suit behind, that you will step into a place where those who you love, who went before, greet you and say, welcome home, and well done. Allowing yourself just to close your eyes and to begin to envision those words of that scripture where there is a great cloud of witnesses above watching us run this race. Just imagine within your own heart, your own mind, receiving from God, whomever you conceive the divine to be. Allow yourself to grasp and take hold of that image, you and yours, in a protected energy field, kept safe and whole and well through this entire thing. See you and yours safe from the virus, any who've had it fully recovered, any who are struggling, see them fully recovering. See coming out the other side of this safe and whole and well and strong. Bodies love to heal, minds love to heal. See the anxiety and the trauma of this time. See you and yours finding your way to sound, mental, emotional footing again. When this is past, this too will pass. And as we come out on the other side, as the February has turned into March, and as March begins to warm, and as the circle of the earth begins to change, and those of us in the northern hemisphere approach spring, just allow that everything inside you begins to come back into hope and to life. Allowing in this moment gratitude for safe and effective vaccines, for access for you and yours, all who want it, to that option. And see also real lasting change in all of the matters of injustice and inequity. See a just United States. And begin to envision a racially just United States, a United States that is just to refugees, a United States that is just to the changes in policing, changes in every system that of the carceral state. Just see changes being made, see the way, see the pressing forward. Those who have gone before us in former generations made life better for us. See those of our time making life better for the future. See that forward motion in regard to race and to gender and to sexual orientation and to gender identity, and also in regard to class. Just see change, some sort of, it's miraculous. You're envisioning now a final end result. You don't know how you don't have to know how we get there. Just see an economy in which this radical injustice between the very, very wealthy and the rest of us is altered, is changed, is shifted, and in which there there is justice from a socioeconomic perspective for all of us. Healthcare, access for all of us. Don't worry right now about how, just feel the feeling of rising up in a nation, in whatever you are. See the feeling of rising up and being able to access healthcare, having what you need for your housing and your food and your shelter and your bills. See, just being able to do what you love with your life and with your time, and to pursue that, and to bring good into the world, to paint, to draw, to write, to skip, to skateboard, to do whatever it is, to dance, to do business, to turn your attention to whatever gives you joy and whatever gives you solace and whatever makes you feel purposeful and gives you a feeling of contribution to others. Just see yourself and you and yours whole and safe and well, and all those around you. And believe with me now, calling upon your image of the divine for those shifts that make this world better for all. See an end to war. You don't have to think it possible. Just feel that feeling of imagining a world where bombs don't drop on little children, where soldiers don't fire weapons at each other. Just imagine with me for a moment a world in which we are kind to our environment, and where the climate can settle down, and where we as a species and all the other life form species can survive and thrive. And for anything I've forgotten that you want to bring to heart and mind right now, just bring that up with you. And we believe that we receive, in the name of all the ancestors, all the generations who have gone before us, those in your family trees and mine, generations upon generations upon generations, in their name, and in the name of our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren and the descendants who come after us, and in the name of whatever creative intellectual force brought this reality into existence, into concrete physicality, we believe that we receive our path forward. And today, we decide to be patient and gentle with ourselves, to forgive all those around us and ourselves in as much as is possible, and to move forward knowing we have a right to be here. Be blessed and be well. Till next week, when I celebrate the 1-year anniversary of lockdown. Stay safe. I recommend the vaccine if you have access. So far, 1 dose, doing good. No horns yet. Safety, efficacy. I am trusting it and not COVID, but you make your choices and be blessed and be whole and be well. Till next week.